everyone. So today I thought we could talk about anxiety and motherhood. I feel like it's something a lot of new mums go through. First time mums, even mums with many children. I think it's just something that is part of being a parent, possibly. I don't think it's unusual for someone to feel that way when they're a parent. So for me, anxiety is something I've struggled with for a really long time. It's something that definitely has its peaks and valleys with me. I found that once I had Adelaide, it became eating away at me even more. It was something that became more of a daily struggle, like more so than it had been before. Like I'd had really bad bouts of it previously, because of the relationship that I was in, and it wasn't great for me. But with this, it just became really hard to deal with. Addie was really tiny. She was under 5 pounds, and just over 2 kilos. So immediately that need to protect something that's so tiny really kicked in. And I found that I wouldn't sleep because I was concerned that she would stop breathing. And I think that that's something that, I know that I spoke to my sister about that, and she said that even now, her daughters are 4 and 8. Was it 5 and 9 now this year? 5 and 9. God, they're getting so grown up. Not cool. But yeah, I remember her talking to me not that long ago actually, and I was saying how I check on Adelaide when she's asleep still, and she said, oh no, that doesn't change. You still wait for it. You sort of stand by the door and wait for the and you know that they're okay. But yeah, I wouldn't sleep because I was just concerned, and every single worst case scenario would constantly go through my head. And basically that kind of led to me not wanting to leave the house unless Ash was with me, because I felt like I wasn't good enough to be the one that could protect her if anything happened. I felt like I needed Ash to be there because he was the backbone and he was the strong one out of the two of us. So obviously that became a real problem when he finished his paternity leave. And I just wouldn't leave the house. I wouldn't go to mum and baby meetings. I wouldn't, even the idea of going to like a health visit or something, or having to go to the doctors, I would really struggle with it, and Ash would have to book the appointments, and so that I had to go, because I would hate the idea of not going to an appointment that was booked and taking someone else's spot. So he would have to book them for me because I just put it off. And I know that that's awful, because obviously to make sure your child goes to these appointments and things, but that's just how my brain was. The idea of stepping out of that door was so dangerous. Like crossing a road, whew, that was next level. But yeah, I felt like most people were supportive. Everybody I spoke to obviously was there for me. My mum would give the friendly nudge and try and help me, and you know, she went through it. I've got 3 older sisters, so my mum had been there, done that, and gone through everything you could think of. So she was kindly trying to sort of coax me into taking just one step and really trying to hold my hand through it. But yeah, there was one person who made a comment about, well, I don't understand. Just walk out the door. It's not that hard. And he would say that it was stupid that I couldn't do that. And he was someone who, he'd made me feel bad about being there for Adelaide when she cried. Like, he would always say it was fake tears and that there was nothing wrong, and make me feel bad for that. And yes, someone genuinely said that a couple-month-old baby was faking crying to get attention. And I just think that, yeah. Anyway, needless to say, that person's not around anymore, but I just didn't understand. It started playing with my head, because I'd constantly be like, well, oh, all right, am I being too overbearing? Is she fake crying? But knowing in my gut that that wasn't the case, because with babies, newborns, there's usually 3 reasons why they're crying. They've messed themselves, they want food, or they want sleep, or they just want a cuddle. And I don't think that it's wrong for a mum to want to cuddle their child if they're crying. And I hated the fact that I let someone made me feel like I shouldn't be doing that. Eventually, I learned how to get myself out of the house. I learned how to take Adelaide out. She had a pushchair like a tank. So I always felt bad for getting in people's way. I think that's something for me as well. Like, I don't like getting in people's way. I don't like putting on people. I don't like feeling like I'm inconveniencing someone. So being out with a pushchair, I think people are so quick to be like, oh, God, getting in the way. And you're actually like, well, no, I have to be out here with this pushchair. I have to be doing this. So what would you rather me do? You know what I mean? And I really struggled with people just being rude. But yeah, so then maternity leave ended. And I suddenly had to trust someone else with my child. And I really struggled with that. And there's the guilt, God, the guilt of leaving your child with someone else. Because you're the mum, you should be there with them, but I had no other choice. I needed to work. And for my sanity as well, to an extent. I mean, I completely respect mothers that stay at home with their children, and that's their job. And I love that. And I think that those mothers deserve medals, but it's something that, with my state of mind and the way that I am as a person, I don't think it's something that I could do. But saying that, when I'm not with Adelaide, it feels like part of my heart's missing. So I really had to struggle with the idea of somebody else watching her. And I really struggled when I wasn't told what she'd been up to. I almost got angry. Like, well, no, I should know. I should know everything that she's doing. She's my child. I should know. And that was something I really struggled with. Or like if whoever was watching her had said that she'd done something, or she'd been incredible that day and stuff like that, or she'd slept well and things like that, I'd be like, well, why isn't she doing that for me? Am I doing something wrong? Am I a bad mum? And yeah, I let myself play mind games with myself, I think. I think I get inside my own head a lot, and that really went against me as a parent. I think I always, as a parent, you have that gut instinct and you know what is best for your child. But then when you're someone who constantly second guesses yourself, there's this massive internal struggle, and you're doing it to yourself. Nobody else is doing it to you. But anyway, yeah, we started getting into a rhythm. Everything was good. We were happy with the arrangements. It was lovely to see Adelaide spending time with people that she needed to be spending time with, because they're her family, and you know, those bonds need to be built. And also when she was, the days that she was at nursery, she was with other children, and that's perfect for her. She needs that for her development. So it was perfect. And then a massive bombshell completely shook our family. And it was something that meant that even though it wasn't happening directly to me, it was something where it completely shattered my trust in anyone. And I found myself looking at people and thinking, well, are you who you say you are? And that completely messed up everything that I'd worked towards in myself with my anxiety. And I found myself feeling again like I was being judged as a person, like my integrity was being brought into question. And it was something that, as parents, me and Ash, and as a mum, I had to make specific decisions to ensure that we protected Adelaide. Because at the end of the day, however you look at things, if you strip everything back, the one core thing that you need to make sure you do as a parent is protect your child. And you need to not think about other people. And I think that was something that was so alien to me, because I'm a people pleaser. That's just who I am. If you ask anybody that knows me, they'll tell you that I will literally break my back for people, and I'll do whatever I can to make sure that somebody else is happy over my own happiness. And I've always done that. That's just a habit of a lifetime. It's just something that I'm never really going to be able to change out of. And I like being that way. I like making sure that people are happy. But in this instance, I needed to do what I thought was right and put other people's feelings to one side. I still cared about them and I was still going to be there for them, but I needed to think about my family. Ash as well. And I needed to turn into the backbone, and I needed to be the person who did what I could to make sure that we, in our little bubble, in our little trio, were protected and happy. And it was a struggle. And it's not something I ever want to go through again, because I hate seeing people hurt. But that was that. And I found my anxiety just spiraling. I was constantly questioning myself, because I was being made to feel like what I was doing was so awful that I thought, oh, maybe I am a terrible person. Maybe I am a rubbish mum. Maybe I thought I was going insane because I could see these things happening and I was feeling some kind of way about it. But it felt like nobody else was, and nobody else was seeing it from my standpoint, and I don't know, I just really struggled with it because I thought, oh, am I wrong? But again, as a parent, gut instinct and making sure you put blinkers on and you ensure that you are making sure that your little family is okay is a big thing. But yeah, I'd worked so hard for over a year from having Adelaide to make sure that I put all these doubts and this anxiety and panic attacks and those kind of things, I tried to put those at the back of my head, and I tried to fix myself and be the best mum that I could be. And I'd finally got to a point where I could be that, and then suddenly that was all gone again, and I was back to square one. And it was a really, really odd and alien situation to be in. And I think, yeah, I think I just kept needing to tell myself that I was doing the right thing. Even though with my anxiety anyway, it comes out physically. I get ill, and I get a really bad chest pain. I feel like my body's trying to suffocate me, and I can't breathe, and I'm trapped, and it's the worst. It's literally the worst, and the pain just doesn't stop there. It goes down my arm. So obviously that's very similar to a heart attack type pain. So there's been a couple hospital visits with it whenever I've had these attacks and struggled with that. And then you have the extra added guilt of, oh, I've wasted people's time. I've wasted doctors' time because I'm just having an anxiety attack and I need to stop being overdramatic. But if you ever do have an anxiety attack and you end up at the doctor's, don't feel guilty about it. It'll make you feel worse. And they want to help you. So don't think that way. And I think I need to stop thinking that way. This is something else I'm really good at, is telling people advice and trying to help them out, and then I never take it for myself. I'm the world's worst for that. So take heed. I think out of that, and with how I've felt, I think what needs to be understood is that there is not a handbook on how to be a parent. There's no bullet points. There's no presentation on what you should and shouldn't do. You can prepare yourself materialistically, like you can get your nursery ready, you can get the clothes, and you can get everything that you need to make sure that you look after your child physically. But as soon as that child's born, and especially in the way that Adelaide was born as well, with it being so traumatic, and it was touch and go for a minute. And I think with that, I think that added to it for me. But you're past this little baby that you now need to protect at all costs. And nobody teaches you how to do that. And I think people are so quick to judge, and people are they forget easily that they went through it, if they did go through it, if they're mums or dads. And they forget that, and they just expect you to know and go, right, there we go, I've got all this sorted. And it's not that easy. And it really is one of the hardest things I think me and Ash have done, is being a parent and figuring out our way through it. And I guess the moral of this one is, if you have anxiety, don't be ashamed of it. There are ways of working through it. I'm still working through it and trying to figure my own head out, and I'm 30, but hopefully one day I'll get there. But don't let people make you feel bad for the decisions that you make as a parent, and trust your gut instinct. And you can only do what's right for you and your child. You can only be concerned about that. You can't control everything that goes on around you. And I think that's something I need to learn as well, is that stuff happens and you can't change it. So why try? You know what I mean? If something happens to you, you can't change what's happened, but you can think about how you're going to go forward. And I think that that's the main thing in that. And if you know someone that's a new parent, be kind. Think before you say something. Think before you do something. And understand that it's them that is the parent to the child, not you. And let them do as they want. You can guide, but if they don't do what you want them to do, that's not their prerogative to make sure you're happy. It's their prerogative to make sure that their little family is okay. So, yeah. But Adelaide is 2. I still struggle. But we're so happy. And she is just the most incredible thing that's ever happened to us. And I don't think I could ever imagine my life being any different. And I've come to accept that I'm an anxious person. I've come to accept the fact that I struggle from time to time. I'm with someone who loves me no matter what and will never judge me and will never make me feel bad for being the way that I am. He actually embraces me for the way that I am and will have a laugh at the fact that I am the way that I am. And I think that that's also good, is finding the funny in the negative sometimes. So, yeah. I just wanted to do this so that if there is anyone out there struggling, you know that you're not alone, because I felt that way and it's not a nice feeling, but you're not alone. Thanks.